CNN is another one that suddenly has a case of EDS. I'm calling it EDS. You remember TDS? Well, this is EDS. This is because of Elon. Trump Derangement Syndrome has now become Elon Derangement Syndrome because they got to blame someone for Trump winning, and apparently it's all Elon, and that darn free speech is fault. Here they are talking about, well, this is a quick one. Elon doesn't want to be regulated. Why should he be?
Platforms are not regulated right now, which gives them carte blanche to whatever they want right now. Elon is not someone who likes to be regulated.
No. And you know what? He's taking it even further. He's saying, I don't have to regulate anybody else. You know what? They're the media now. You need to report what you know. Tell us what you hear. Tell us what you see. And they sure feel intimidated by it. Certainly over at MSNBC, where he might actually buy them. Certainly over at ABC, where he may buy them. And certainly over at CNN, where I don't think he's thought about that one yet. Here they are.
Platforms are not regulated right now, which gives them carte blanche to whatever they want right now. Elon is not someone who likes to be regulated. And so to buy MSN, he would go under some federal regulations.
Who's regulating CNN right now?
The FCC.
We're not a broadcast. It's cable. I mean, I don't really think cable stations are under the same regulatory structure
over public airways
that broadcast is.
It's definitely regulated more than than Facebook and
there's
Twitter.
Still, what she's saying is that there's still a litmus test of journalism that you have to pass. You can't come on TV and just make up things and say things. That happens on X. Please don't give me the eyebrow furrow as if you don't know what I'm talking about. It happens often on X. I can go and say the color is blue, and I will be met with so many disrespectful remarks. No one's regulating the N-word. No one's regulating the criticism. No one is regulating how people are treated.
How much government regulation of the First Amendment are you for?
Let me tell you something. If I came on here and I just started calling you all kind of names, do you think the bosses would let me continue to do that?
I mean, it happens to me occasionally. I don't know if you
it doesn't happen to you, but it doesn't happen for me. And I know that I wouldn't be able to do that. There's a level of professionalism in what we do here because we are journalists and we adhere to something at least morally. And there is no moral compass on this thing called.
Do you really? Because you know what? I had to listen to a whole lot of stuff that was pretty damn heinous, if you ask me. In fact, one of the key proponents of this heinous talk, and by the way, we had to listen to him swear at 6:15 in the morning, is one little guy named Joe Scarborough, who suddenly is trying to pretend like he's conservative lately. This one gets me. But anyway, just a few weeks before the election, he's out there spouting this stuff.
So I'm not trying to figure them out. I'm trying to figure out how we get people out who love democracy, who love freedom, who love the rights of all Americans, how to get them to the voting booth. Because that's how we save our country.
Ooh, we missed the best part. We got to go earlier on.
Okay, now, where can we meet in the middle? On this question, we're past that. You can't meet. If they voted for Trump in 16, whatever. They voted for Trump in 20, they knew exactly what they were doing. If they vote for Donald Trump in 2024, and I've said it on my show, I'll say it here, they're knowingly voting for a fascist. They're voting for a racist. They're voting for somebody that wants to put this country 200 years in the back.
Okay.
And so
this is the kind of stuff that goes on cable, but apparently they're all upset about whatever goes on Twitter. I mean, what I'm shocked about is what's going on over at ABC News and at The View, because there are FCC rules when it comes to broadcast, which would pertain to The View, and ABC News produces The View. Whoopi Goldberg, watch out. I'm telling you, you're done. Joy Behar, you're done. Like, it's all over, because if you look at those FCC rules, and now we actually have somebody in charge who's going to probably enforce them, one Brandon Carr, you have to give equal time. And I don't think equal time means we're going to give 99.99999% bad coverage to one and 99.99999% good coverage to the other. I think equal time also means some kind of respect for fairness. They don't believe in fairness. They are up on their high horses thinking cable is the be all end all. And somehow they're just, utterly perfection and peaceful and this and that. And they're not, but hear them on CNN.
Carrie, I want to ask you about this idea of media takeover, because after Elon Musk purchased Twitter, changed it into X, there's no doubt that he exercised some power there. So how do you hear this even in jest kind of purchase of a cable network?
Good to be with you tonight.
Good to be with you as well.
Thanks for having me. I think that we should believe everything that is said coming from this administration. I don't think that we have the luxury to dismiss it as him being someone who's being funny or someone who is just being himself, or that is his brand. X, and you said in some ways, always. I feel like X, I don't know if anyone is on it in any capacity. I don't know if you're on it. You're the only one? You're on it? You all are on it? Okay. I've actually decided to take a rest of peace because it is not a peaceful place for me. And I know if, in fact, you don't agree with this current administration, most people can say that it's not a peaceful place. I wouldn't be surprised if there was an actual bid made to take on MSNBC, but the fact that it just can't happen in real life.
And we just can't.
It's
It's
not even a
for sale.
Yeah, it's not even.
Really, it just can't happen. It just can't happen. What do you think you're going to do about it? I mean, the guy's a billionaire. He's the wealthiest man in the world, something like, what, 350 billion? I mean, he's just insane amounts of money. And if he wants to buy it, guess what? He can. And I don't think you can do too much about it.
The last time he mused about maybe buying something,
it's not even realistic in real life. But I do believe that media, everyone sitting here at this table, if you don't agree, we're in for some tough years ahead. I do believe that we are not going to be able to be as safe or say what we want to. I don't think free speech is going to be as free.
No.
Okay, I'm just going to say, guys, I've had to live through the last however many years. I mean, I'm proof that free speech didn't really exist, right? I mean, think about, Trish Regan said that, we're overreacting on COVID. I paid a price for that. I mean, I happily will always pay the price because I will always defend my view. I will always be honest with my view, and I will always give it to you straight. And so, fortunately, the medium is changing so quickly. And it's so vibrant, and there's this huge opportunity for somebody like me over here where there may not have been previously. And that's the good news, right? That's the good news. But for them to suggest that somehow now we're going into the thick of it, no. I've been in the thick of it. And I came out the other side. I've been in the thick of it. I remember shortly after Joe Biden came to the White House, I had shared a story on a social media company, one Facebook, about that laptop, the laptop from hell. Remember that? And I was shut down. I was shut down for an entire year. I was not able to reach my audience. I'm still barely able to reach my audience over there. We thank YouTube. We thank Twitter. We are happy that there are some places where they're not willing to just completely strangle you. But it's been a rough go. And this lady has no clue. All these people are sitting around wondering how the heck they're ever going to become relevant again. Because guess what? The world has changed. And it's still changing, and it's changing fast, and it's great and glorious.
You grew up in a newsroom like Gene grew up in a newsroom. I mean, that's a challenge. That's a challenge for a lot of mainstream media sources is, do they make themselves relevant again to hear 20% of adults who actually get influencers on social media?
I don't know
maybe somebody who makes baskets, and while they're making baskets, they look up and say, vote for candidate X.
Again, the arrogance.
I don't know how we catch up to that.
Yeah, so Gene Robinson, do you agree with
Because you can't catch up to it because you guys are still stuck. Nobody likes you, okay? The arrogance that you have. Your little club watches you maybe on a Morning Joe, your little DC insiders. Nobody else does. They're all watching Rogan, or maybe I'm lucky enough to have you over here. Nobody watches these shows anymore. You just look at the ratings. What are they down? Some 51%. I mean, maybe Elon could change it. Maybe he could help them at MSNBC by having a more diversified news product. Maybe he could help them at ABC, again, through a diversification in their products so they're not all spouting the same nonsense over there at The View. But given what we've been through, given the lawfare we have been through just for the last 4 years, I mean, a couple in everything that happened before that, I think the reality is that people are tired of the mainstream media. They don't want it anymore, and rightly so. I don't want it anymore. People say to me all the time, would you be willing to go back? And the short answer is no, because I could never be hindered by this sort of apparatus from the top down telling me what to do. It's not right. Lots of changes are coming. They need to come. Hey, a quick shout out to our friends over at Heritage. Everybody's like, what's the next step, right? What can we do? And I love this book. It just came out. Dr. Roberts, he's actually going to be on the show, I think, next week. And he's president of the Heritage Foundation. And I just wanted to give him a quick shout out because I'm reading the book and it's all about taking back control over Washington, right? To save America. And it's not even like taking back a control of Washington in a big way. It's in a small government way because we want less control. But what they have done over the last however many years, and we're talking generations of this, has just been awful. So you can get this right now on Amazon. I encourage you to go check it out. It's called Dawn's Early Light, Taking Back Washington. Look, the American people said it, right? Did they not? November 5th, they said, we want our country back and we want less control from big government, and they are getting it. So this is well timed. It's got a forward, by the way, by J.D. Vance, and it's called Dawn's Early Light, which I just think is a beautiful title given this time and given all that we're challenged with and going through.